and welcome to News Watch on the 25th day of January, Monday 2021. Thank you for choosing Hope TV, where you look and live. My name is Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. News Watch begins now. The government is set to introduce a dusk to dawn curfew in Kapedo, Turkana County, following the surge of banditry attacks in the region. Speaking during a joint security compact dialogue between Kenya and the United Kingdom to address global security issues, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i said a gazette notice will be published to restrict movement from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the region, which has been designated as a special operations zone. This comes 3 days after 2 more police officers were murdered in an ambush by gunmen in the Kapedo area. Mark Kimondo with the details.
After weeks of tension and a series of murder cases witnessed in the volatile Kapedo Trading Center, the region, which lies at the border of Turkana and Baringo County, has been designated as a disturbed zone. Unlike other Kenyans, Kapedo residents will be forced to remain indoors between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., not because of the pandemic, but due to the surge in the number of deaths resulting from the ongoing skirmishes in the area. Speaking during a joint security compact dialogue meeting between Kenya and the United Kingdom to address global security changes, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i said a gazette notice will be published to restrict movement from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the region, which has been designated as a special operation zone.
I am issuing a gazette notice shortly extending curfew hours in Kapedo, and I'm going to designate it as a special operation area, and we'll maintain a curfew there between 6 and 6 in the evening, so that we can do all the work that we need to do there and complete it.
The decision is aimed at enhancing an ongoing security operation focused on restoring peace in the region that has been under the siege of bandits.
We are not going to postpone that problem again and tell stories by meeting with leaders and lying to each other. Everyone knows what the problem in that part of our country is, and now we are determined to resolve it once and for all.
With insecurity cases surging in Kapedo, hundreds of residents have fled their homes to escape the wrath of the bandits. On his part, Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai, however, expressed confidence that the ongoing security operation in Kapedo will soon restore the much-needed peace. 2 more police officers were on Thursday evening shot and killed in an ambush by gunmen in Kapedo, in what was perceived to be an attempt to sabotage the government's bid to locate the bandits. This is the second time in 3 years for the area to be declared a disturbed zone over community-based conflicts. Meanwhile, the government has deployed dozens of security personnel in the region to pursue the attackers, with the government saying it will not relent until the suspects are brought to book. Mark Kimondo for Hope TV, Nairobi.
And Principal Secretary State Department for Interior Dr. Karanja Kibicho presented himself to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI on Monday morning to record statements regarding impeached Governor Mike Sonko's remarks on Sunday. Sonko, during a rally in Dagoretti South over the weekend, claimed he alongside Kibicho orchestrated the destruction of vehicles to taint ODM's public image. The PS has denied the claims and called on Sonko to present evidence to support his allegations. Kibicho has reprimanded Sonko over what he says is a habit of character assassination. Our reporter Grace Wangoi has more.
The fight between Principal Secretary State Department for Interior Dr. Karanja Kibicho and ex-Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko continues after Kibicho presented himself to the DCI headquarters to record a statement over allegations made by Sonko during a political rally in Dagoretti South. Embattled Sonko disclosed that he had been involved with the deep state and mentioned Kibicho as part of the team that allegedly stage-managed 2017 chaos to taint the ODM party's image.
Sahi tumeona deep state na system wameanza kuchoma magari, isemekane ni mahasla wanachoma magari. Mimi nataka kutoboa niseme hivi. 2017 wakati kulikuwa na maandamano ya ODM, mimi na Kibicho na Deep State wale wengine na system tuliwenda kuprint t-shirts za ODM, tukanunua magari second hand kwa mashowroom, tukazichoma huko Ngong Road, ionekane ni ODM, kumbe ni Deep State na system.
Kibisho has sternly disputed the claims, noting that Sonko had made a habit of tainting people's reputation whenever it suited him, and further added that Sonko should present evidence to back his claims, failure to which a legal action will be taken against him.
You remember some time back him claiming that we want to kill him the way we killed Saitoti. We want to kill him and the deputy president because of his political stance. And now he has even gone further to say how myself and himself were involved in crime around 2017 election violence that pursued. And I think as Kenyans we need to say enough is enough. And as a person I've said enough is enough. So I am not in DCI as a PS Interior. I'm there as Kibicho, and Sonko shall give me answers if there is law in this country. Where we were with him, all the manner of things that he has made against me, he must prove one by one, because I'm a Kenyan who deserves to be treated right as well. Enough is enough.
Sonko in the video openly disclosed that he too was part of the scheme, therefore publicly admitting to crime. Kibisho was not shy to mention that Sonko should first be held accountable for admitting to crime publicly before action is taken against his character assassination attempt.
After he has dealt with the crimes he has publicly admitted to committing, he'll have to deal with my character assassination as well. And I'm going for libel this week. And you'd better prepare good lawyers, because it's clear he has no respect for law in this country. I'm a Kenyan, I'm a parent, I have friends who get disturbed when these allegations are made against me.
In response to the claims, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, in a statement released on Monday, said he wanted persons behind the ill motives uncovered and brought to book. Sifuna stated that the revelation by the ousted city boss has vindicated the party from claims that they were behind the violence. ODM has further demanded a full inquiry into the matter to establish the motives and extent of the mafia-like covert criminal acts, as well as all persons and institutions involved. Grace Wangoi, Hope TV Newswatch.
To court, a Kiambu court has pushed Lawrence Warunge's case to tomorrow, Tuesday, so as to allow him undergo a mental assessment. Lawrence, however, failed to take a plea after the prosecution asked for more time to complete a mental assessment test to determine his fitness to stand trial. Lawrence Warunge and his girlfriend Sarah Muthoni were arrested following the Karura killings that saw his 5 family members killed. Warunge, the prime suspect in the case, together with his girlfriend, were detained for 14 days to give the DCI time to conduct a mental assessment for the two. The murder case of slain lawyer Willie Kimani has once again been adjourned to Monday next week after the court heard that Justice Jesse Lesit was still unwell. Judge Ogembo allowed an application by the defense lawyers to have the accused produced in court on Friday to meet with their lawyers and prepare before Monday when the hearing resumes. The case was filed after the abduction and murder of Willie Kimani, a taxi driver and a bodyguard, in 2016. Now, the Council of Governors will be meeting this Friday to elect a new chairman and the chairpersons of the committees. The election comes amidst discontent among members following the ongoing BBI talk, which has seen governors split into two, some supporting the proposed constitutional amendments, which are spearheaded by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, while others support Deputy President William Ruto, who is opposed to the BBI idea. And as our current affairs reporter Dickens Luvanda reports, President Uhuru's team seeks someone who supports BBI to succeed Wycliffe Oparanya to be in a better position to rally BBI in the counties.
Speak, Honorable Excellencies.
All eyes will be on the Council of Governors COG this Friday as governors converge in Nairobi to elect a chairperson who will succeed Wycliffe Oparanya and propel the council ideas ahead of the 2022 general elections.
Indeed, our workers.
The elections come at a time when governors are split over the Building Bridges initiative, with the disgruntled county chiefs allied to Deputy President William Ruto,
The CS Health
accusing Oparanya of abandoning the council's collective agenda and making arbitrary decisions in the spirit of the BBI. At least 6 county bosses have expressed interest in the top seat. They include Kwale Governor Salim Vuria, who is in support of DP Ruto's agenda, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, who is in full support of the BBI, Uasin Gishu County Governor Jackson Mandago, who is also a staunch DP Ruto ally, Makueni County Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who has recently been supporting the Deputy President, Embu Governor Martin Wambora, who is behind the BBI, and Tana River Governor Dado Godana, who is rallying behind the BBI.
Na mimi kama baba wa county hii.
According to Godana, the COG chairmanship role is rotational and it will only be fair if it is now taken to the coastal region.
When you hear reports that some counties...
At the same time, Kisii Governor James Ongwae and his Kisumu counterpart Professor Anyang' Nyong'o will square it out to replace Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria, who has served 2 terms as the vice chair of the Council of Governors.
It is on arrival.
The position of Chief Whip, which is held by Kivutha Kibwana, has attracted Governors John Lonyangapuo of West Pokot, Stephen Sang of Nandi, and Mutombi Njuki of Tharaka Nithi County.
There will be no reduction on the 30 billion county equitable share.
As he exits office, Oparanya has been vocal in pushing the National Treasury to release county disbursements, most of which were delayed due to what Treasury CS Ukur Yatani attributed to COVID-19. Previous holders of the 2-year COG chairmanship role include Isaac Ruto, a former Bomet governor, Peter Munya, the former Meru governor, Josephat Nanok, the current Turkana governor, and Wycliffe Oparanya, the Kakamega county governor.
Let me convey my heartfelt thanks to you, to all of you, Excellency Governors, for their support the last 1 year and re-electing me for another 1 year and final term. I stand here proud of what we have achieved.
Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Moving on, Kenya and the United Kingdom have signed a new security cooperation deal that will see the two nations strengthen security ties. The agreement was signed under the 3rd UK-Kenya Security Dialogue by Kenya's Interior and Coordination Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i and the UK Secretary of State for Defence Ben Wallace. Dolly Muringi has that report.
The UK and Kenya government have signed an agreement to enhance coordination and collaboration in the security sector in an effort to tackle terrorist activities within East Africa. The signing of the agreement comes a year after President Uhuru Kenyatta and Prime Minister Boris Johnson launched the UK-Kenya Strategic Partnership in London. On Monday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i hosted UK Secretary of State for Defence Ben Wallace at a state of a 2-day visit to Kenya, which now moves on to focus the UK and Kenya's long-lasting defence relationship.
We work together very closely in tackling some of our regional challenges. And now, this year, we are jointly members of the UN Security Council. We have also discussed our areas of priority and how we are going to work together to deal with peace building in the region, counter-terrorism, and ensuring that we all help each other strengthen ourselves and our resilience in the face of climate change, and how that affects security within our country and the region.
The security dialogue talks focused on enhancing coordination and collaboration in tackling Al-Shabaab and demonstrating joint leadership on security challenges of international significance, considering that Kenya has had frequent terrorist attacks from the Al-Shabaab militants. Speaking after signing the pact, Wallace revealed that there are 200 UK Armed Forces personnel based in Kenya, saying that the agreement will see more security investment in the country.
Kenya is the standard bearer in this region for shared values that the United Kingdom and Kenya shared, the rule of law, democracy and security. And being that standard bearer, it's important that friends and allies support you in the task ahead. It's important that when we face the common threat of Al-Shabaab, that we work together to defeat that, both here in Kenya, but also in the United Kingdom and through the international community, and indeed through the UN in Somalia.
Earlier on Monday, the Somali Information Ministry in a statement accused Kenya-funded rebel of crossing into the town of Buluhau and attacking Somalia forces. Somalia's accusation of Kenya involvement comes after Somalia cut diplomatic ties with Kenya in December, with Matiang'i describing the fighting as internal to Somalia and has nothing to do with Kenya.
We are not involved in it, and none of our forces have crossed the border to go over to Somalia. So I do not know what they are referring to, but you can take this to the bank. We are not involved in that. That's a conflict that is internal to Somalia.
On September 28, 2015, the government of the United Kingdom and the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Kenya signed the first UK-Kenya Security Compact, a commitment to strengthen security partnership. Since then, the security partnership has been further advanced by the signing of a second UK-Kenya Security Compact in 2018 August and the launch of the UK-Kenya Strategic Partnership in January 2020.
I'm absolutely delighted that 4 years on from when I first came here, we are both delivering on strengthening our offer to the region and strengthening the offer to each other to work together to defeat both terrorism but also uphold the shared common values that make us stand out. And I really look forward to working with Kenya in the United Nations Security Council where you have taken your seat.
Dolly Mirigi for Hope TV News Watch.
Let us now take a short break. We have plenty more in store for you, including dangerous old town houses. Keep it News Watch.
Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship, only on Extended Worship.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning. Good morning.
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the Sweet Hour of Prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated.
Yes, indeed.
Activate every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Welcome back. To the coast, Mvita Member of Parliament Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir has called on the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, to conduct an environmental assessment on old buildings and new buildings that are being constructed in Old Town. The MP held a meeting with Old Town residents after a house collapsed in the area last week. There have been reports that over 8 houses in the area are believed to have developed cracks and appear to be shaky due to the construction of a new building within the vicinity, prompting residents to hold a peaceful protest in Old Town to demand action.
NEMA are meant to assess ya kuwa majirani hawatoweza kuathirika kwa njia gani. Na mkimaliza sasa angalieni zile approval ambako mmetoa nyinyi. I want you to physically measure zile approval. Muangalie kama approval ilijengwa wewe wafawaliza kumaliza hapa na unjenga katika nini, hata kama gharama wametoa ngapi vunjeni. Because there is nothing that will be able to replace the cost of a life. Leo tushukuru, tuomba Mwenyezi Mungu ya kuwa kwa sababu zake Mwenyezi Mungu lile jumba lilikuwa hakuna mtu. Look at these children hapa ambao kwamba walioko hapa. Hawa wote wana watoto na wajukuu. Angalieni hapa tumezingirwa na watoto namna gani. Sasa can you imagine hawa sasa lile jumba lingelikuwa limeanguka likaangukia hawa watoto. Why? Because no environmental assessment was done. And let me tell you, yani mimi hata nashindwa. Hawa watu wamewanyenyekea na kuambia kwa tuambieni hata kama ni kutoka ni vipi.
And Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi has continued with calls to unite the coastal people under one political party for the benefit of the region ahead of the 2022 general election. Kingi has asked leaders in the region to speak in one voice by agreeing to the formation of a single political party that will catapult the region to the national level and be able to address issues affecting the coastal region, which has been marginalized since independence. The governor was speaking when he joined other leaders and mourners during the burial of the father-in-law to former Malindi MP William Tengo in Bureni, Junju Ward.
Tukiwa pamoja tutapata chochote kile ambacho tunahitaji. Lakini tukianza kujigawanya kama vile ninavyoanza kuona, tutabaki pale pale ambapo mpwani toka uhuru amekuwa. Manake leo hii Mazaa atashika shirikisho, Mung'aro ashike kadu asili, Kenchonga ashike umoja party, halafu kila mtu awanike pwani hii Kilifi. Mazaa asema hii ni chama wa pwani takufa nacho. Mung'aro naye asema hii ni chama wa pwani tukufe nacho. Ndio maana ni muhimu kwamba ikiwa kweli azma yetu ni kuleta umoja hapa pwani, ni nyumba hizi zote ambazo ziko hapa pwani tuzilete katika mwavuli mmoja na iwe nyumba kubwa ambayo mpwani atajivunia kwamba ni chombo ambacho atapiga nacho hatua mwaka 2022.
Tana River Governor Dado Godana has called on the Kenya Defence Forces KDF to consider recruiting more youths from the county to the Air Force in the upcoming February recruitment exercise. He said the county has lost 3 pilots from the Air Force in different chopper accidents. He was speaking during the funeral of the late Lieutenant Adams Rover at Kulesa Village, Tana Delta Sub-County. The late Rover died after the Air Force aircraft from Moi Air Base in Eastleigh, Nairobi crashed in Taita Taveta County on January 12th.
Tunasikia kuna recruitment inakuja. So kwa sababu ya mambo haya, mimi nataka niongeze ya Mgatana. Sio wa fill gap. Watuongezee nyingi kwa sababu ya kutupa pole. Tena mwambie vizuri sisi ni jamii ndogo sana. Sisi tukipoteza mtu kama huyu, basi ni pigo kubwa sana. Kule kwingine utasikia doctor, professor, nini what, kwa familia moja. Huyo basi huyo ndio professor, ndio doctor, ndio what, ndio kila kitu yule. Ndio unaona kilio cha wale hakitaisha.
On COVID-19 numbers today, 69 people have tested positive to the disease out of a sample size of 2,814 tested in the last 24 hours. The total confirmed positive cases are now 100,052. The cumulative tests so far conducted are 1,158,920. From the cases, 56 are Kenyans while 17 are foreigners. 449 patients have recovered from the disease. 269 from various facilities, while 180 are from the home-based care and isolation centers. The total recoveries now stand at 83,418. No deaths have been reported, therefore fatality remains at 1,744. The distribution of cases by counties is as follows. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has urged the Teachers Service Commission, TSC, to transfer teachers who have fallen victims of assault by students. While decrying the rising cases of assault on teachers by students in the country, KUPPET Laikipia Branch Executive Secretary Robert Miano said that the only way the affected teachers can avoid victimization and stigmatization is through transfers. He cited an incident where a teacher was assaulted by a Form 3 student at Mauritius Secondary School in Daragwa.
It was in Kisii where a teacher was attacked using a panga. And now here in Nyahururu, Mauritius Secondary, mwalimu amechapwa na wanafunzi. We want to condemn that act, and we want to ask the Ministry of Education to come heavily on this matter. Because we suspect our students, some of our students have been involved in drugs during the period of COVID-19. Remember, they have been at home for almost 1 year, and some of them have been involved in issues to do with drugs, and now they are back. Unaona mwanafunzi anaambiwa apange laini ya chakula, juu hataki kupanga laini, anageukia mwalimu anamchapa.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has kicked off the process of clearance and registration of candidates who are intending to vie in the Machakos senatorial by-election slated for March 18th. The county recruiting officer Joyce Wamalwa and her deputy county returning officer Salim Bilali handed the nomination certificate to Tungengele Abanas of United Democratic Alliance after he was cleared to vie in the senatorial by-election, with at least 4 other aspirants being cleared. They include Munyambu Francis Musembi, an independent candidate, Dhama Sebastian Zau, an independent candidate, Kitheka Simeon Kioko of the Grand Dream Development Party, and Musingi John Kioko of the Muungano Party. Meanwhile, former women representative Dr. Susan Musyoka has backed the Maendeleo Chapchap Party senatorial candidate Katuku John Mutua in the forthcoming by-elections.
It is time for people of Machakos to choose wisely. Among the candidates, I can say for sure and for certain that Honorable Mutua Katuku is a seasoned politician. He's a great leader. He knows how government works. He believes in social justice. He's a social democrat. And we are going to have a leader who not only cares for the less fortunate, he also cares for women and the marginalized.
Sisi kama chama cha Maendeleo Chapchap na sisi kama vijana tunajua kwamba kura iko pale kwa ground. Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka kuambia Wakenya kwamba kama chama cha Maendeleo Chapchap tutazunguka Kenya hii yote na tutaomba kura kwa kila nyumba, kila kijiji, kila kanisa, kila mahali. Ndio vijana walio hapa ambao wana kazi, watu ambao wako hapa wana barabara, watu wako around, akina mama hawana pesa, wajue kwamba kuna chama ambacho kinajali maslahi yao.
The government and development partners have in the past 5 years injected a total of 110 million shillings, focusing on Turkana and Marsabit counties with the core objective of ensuring that the food and nutrition situation of people at risk of malnutrition is improved, especially women of reproductive age and young children under the age of 5. State Department of Crops Development and Agricultural Research Principal Secretary Professor Hamadi Boga said in order to tackle the manifold causes of malnutrition and undernutrition in an integrated manner, the Nutrition Project connected measures from a variety of sectors, including agriculture, health, education, social protection, and WASH, that is water, sanitation, and hygiene.
Communities in the north who are in this project was about agri-nutrition. What agricultural activities, what value chains would you grow at that household level to enable you to have nutritious food? Because most of the time they are either relying on milk alone or maize alone or one product alone. So following on the agri-nutrition strategy, which was developed by the ministry in partnership with the development partners, we now have a template that enables counties on how to organize their communities so that they can practice what is known as nutrition-sensitive agriculture, so that you don't just do a monocrop and then in the end you have food but it's not nutritious. So the goal is to make sure that food is available and food is nutritious.
We take another short break. We will be back with business and international news.
Join John Cosson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cosson every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. To business news, 180,000 needy girls from across the country are set to benefit from free sanitary towels for the next 3 months, products that will be provided by the M-Pesa Foundation in conjunction with the Education Ministry. The foundation has committed 21 million Kenya shillings to procure and distribute the pads, which were flagged off by Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha in Nairobi. Our reporter Alice Diana tells us more.
M-Pesa Foundation has given 540,000 packets of sanitary towels to girls in the urban slums and areas of pockets of poverty across the country. Flagging off the sanitary towels on Monday at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development in Nairobi, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha said access to sanitary towels remains a critical challenge for many girls across the country.
It is my great pleasure this morning to join you today during the donation of sanitary towels to 180,000 girls from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Magoha said the ministry remains determined to ensure that no school-going girl is left out of class due to lack of pads. The Education CS said the donation will ensure that the pride and dignity of girls is raised, thereby improving their learning outcomes.
We are certain that this donation will contribute to improved performance of girls in education as they will ensure pride and dignity is raised. Use of sanitary towels will ensure there is reduced absenteeism and therefore enhanced retention and transition of the girl child. As a government, we are determined to ensure that there is improved health of the girls, some of whom end up in using unsafe materials that can lead to infection.
M-Pesa Foundation Executive Director Les Bail noted the menstrual health program seeks to support girls' education and ensure they live in dignity, following statistics indicating that 65% of women and girls in Kenya cannot afford them, while 42% of school-going girls have never used sanitary pads. Statistics indicate that girls miss out 13 learning days in a term when they miss 4 days a month because of their periods. Additionally, a report by Protect and Gamble PNG indicates that 42% of Kenyan schoolgirls have never used sanitary pads and instead use alternatives such as rugs, blankets, pieces of mattresses, tissue paper, and cotton wool, putting their health and hygiene at risk.
We have had a long relationship with the ministry, particularly around the provision of sanitary pads for girls in secondary schools. But we mustn't forget the adolescent boys as well. And so the program that we have been running at the moment not only is providing sanitary towels for girls, but it is also providing mentorship for adolescent boys as well.
For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Alice Diana.
Kipeto Energy PLC, KEP, has announced it has connected Kipeto Wind Farm to the national grid and will start generating power in the next week. KEP has connected a 17 kilometers high voltage transmission line linking the facility to the national grid at the Isinya substation and signaling the start of the go-live process. The project's wind turbines, each capable of producing 1.7 megawatts, will be switched on in stages as part of a gradual ramp-up process, with all commercial tests due to be concluded within the next few months. Kipeto, which is Kenya's second largest wind power project, has a 20-year power purchase agreement with KPLC, and once it is at full capacity will generate 100 megawatts of clean wind energy for the Kenyan people, providing power to the equivalent of approximately 250,000 households. Across borders, the High Court in Uganda has ordered the military and police to leave the home of opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine, after a petition by his lawyers. The opposition leader has not left his house since voting in the presidential election 11 days ago. The court ruled that Bobi Wine's detention was unlawful, with Justice Michael Elubu telling the court it was also an infringement on his personal liberties. Bobi Wine alleges that the election, in which he won 35% of the vote as National Unity Platform leader, was rigged. Further afield, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, addressing the media, condemned the weekend riots against newly imposed coronavirus restrictions as criminal violence. Rioters attacked police and set cars and bikes on fire to protest against a curfew introduced on Saturday. Protesters threw fireworks, looted supermarkets and smashed shop windows. There were smaller protests in Amsterdam and in some cities and towns around the country. More than 200 people have been detained, according to the police. The National Autocross Championship, held yesterday at the Karen waterfront, attracted stiff competition from a number of bona fide drivers that have been in the competition for years and newcomers. Lovrit Singh savored his maiden 4WD Turbo win as the first round of the KCB Kenya National Autocross Championship culminated at the waterfront Karen. Rally driver Karan Patel went home with 2 bonus championship points after setting the fastest time of the day, FTD. He wrapped up his day's 4WDT campaign in 2nd overall position. Girl rider Kiana Rajput won the Pee-wee class for the kids, while his elder brother Yuvraj Rajput won the Bambino class. Speaking during the award ceremony, KCB Group Marketing and Communications Director Wanyi Mwaura said the bank will continue supporting autocross events in 2021.
I saw so many entries in four-wheel drive turbo class, like Eric Bengi, Karan Patel, Kalulu, Akif Virani. So I had a bit of pressure, thinking because these are the big boys with better toys, so I thought I'll have to attack today a bit more. But as the day went, and I kept on pushing my lines, kept the car clean, and with that, I think I've taken first position in four-wheel drive turbo.
Moving on to football, Chelsea Football Club has parted with head coach Frank Lampard after having lost 5 games out of their last 8 Premier League games and are languishing in 9th of the log. Elsewhere, AFC Leopards picked a second consecutive victory after beating Kariobangi Sharks 2-0 in the Kenya Premier League as Kenya Commercial Bank reclaimed top spot in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League with a 3-1 thrashing of Western Steamer. This and more in our sports roundup with Joseph Mainge.
Frank Lampard has this afternoon been sacked as the Chelsea Football Club head coach. Lampard has struggled to get results with the London club and was only a matter of time before Romano Abramovich hammer fell on him. The club, in a statement, has said that the decision was difficult not only to the owner but also for the board of the club. Chelsea have said that the recent results and performance have not met the club's expectation, leaving the club's mid-table without any clear path to sustain improvement. Former Chelsea midfielder Lampard leaves the club in the 9th position in the Premier League after last week's defeat at Leicester City, having won once in the past 5 league matches. His final game in charge was yesterday's 3-1 FA win against Championship side Luton. Lampard was appointed on a 3-year contract when he replaced Mauricio Sarri at the Stamford Bridge in July 2019. Meanwhile, German coach Thomas Tuchel is highly tipped to take over the job. And coming back home, an AFC Leopard moved to the 4th place of the Football Kenya Federation Premier League standing after edging out Kariobangi Sharks 2-1 at the Moi Kasarani Stadium yesterday in Nairobi.
Ngome ya mpinzani lakini makosa ya ulinzi kwa upande wa timu hii ya Kariobangi Sharks, naomba nafasi mchezaji huyu
Elvis Rupia and Jeffrey Awiti scored a goal apiece in each half to hand AFC Leopards their 2nd win on the trot. In other fixtures, KCB regained the top spot after seeing off Western Steamer 3-1 at the Afraha Stadium in Nakuru. The win took the Bankers back on the top of the table on 21 points from 9 games, while Tusker and Wazito are ranked 2nd and 3rd position with 20 and 17 points respectively. And finally, Mali and host Cameroon secured the African Nations Championship CHAN quarterfinals places during the ongoing tournament in Cameroon. Adeba Diallo goal on the 11th minute gave Mali a 1-0 victory over Zimbabwe in the coastal city of Douala and the first place in the Group A with 7 points from 3 matches. Cameroon, who hope to become the second host nation after Morocco to win the competition from home-based players, drew 0-0 with Burkina Faso, finishing the runners-up with 5 points. Burkina Faso came third with 4 points, while the 3 losses meant that Zimbabwe failed to collect even a single point for the first time in the 5 appearances at the tournament. On Saturday, Mali will face the Group B runners-up in Yaoundé, while Cameroon make a 246 kilometers journey to Douala to meet up with Group B winners the same day. That's your sports. I'm Joseph Maingi.
That's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Tune in again tomorrow, same place, same time. Have a good night. God bless you.